So finally, President Trump has gone on a pardoning spree. I think there should be many, 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 many more to come. So, just to show you which, this wasn't a surprise to me. I think he waited a little later in the game, and I'll tell you about who in a minute. But from the Washington Examiner, you see they said Trump pardons Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, and father of Jared Kushner. I forgot what Kushner's dad did, but the thing about, remember, you may be thinking, Roger Stone, he already did. No. He commuted the sentence of Roger Stone, right? What that meant was that the conviction stood on his record, but he didn't have to serve any jail time. So the jail time was removed. But now that they have it as President-elect Joe Biden, President Trump is still fighting in the courts and everywhere. But instead of taking any chances, instead of leaving it at commuting his sentence, now he did a full pardon, which means now that your record gets wiped clean. The person that I wanted to talk about was Paul Manafort. See, because here's the thing. Paul Manafort, I believe the finance stuff and everything that they got him on, that was stuff from back in 2007 that was already looked at, and they passed on prosecuting him and all that stuff. They only got him now was because they wanted him to testify against the president. And he refused to. He said he had nothing to testify, so they went after him. Like, he didn't want to cooperate, so they punished him. Here's the problem. And we'll get into the story in a second, but with Paul Manafort, the president can pardon him, but remember, president's pardon powers are federal. I guarantee you. You see this today, right? We're going to get into this right now, Paul Manafort. I wouldn't be surprised on Christmas Eve or even Christmas Day, the Southern District of New York, the prosecutors, I guarantee you, they take up a case against him. They said it way back when that they would if he got pardoned or whatever. But, so that's basically a given. But let's just see how cruel-hearted these people are, that if he got commuted today, pardoned today, let's see if tomorrow they just, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, let's get into this. I want to see who else he pardoned. He should also pardon anybody that was affected by that Robert Mueller investigation. That phony hoax stuff, he should pardon everybody. Anybody that was involved or got charged with something. President Trump issued pardons to his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, to his longtime friend, Roger Stone. With the 26 new pardons and 3 additional commutations on Wednesday, also included a full pardon to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner's father. I'm sure they'll say something about that. I really have no idea what that's about. Both Manafort and Stone had been swept up in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, and both were found guilty of crimes not directly connected to allegations of Russians. Nobody got that. They all said, oh, people got charged. The Russia thing ain't fake. Nobody got charged with Russia stuff. It was all other stuff, either lying about something or they got all trapped. It was just, but yet, good old, oh yeah, bye William Barr, see ya. Even going out, he just couldn't help himself. Oh no, I won't pull a special counsel. Whoever President Trump puts as the acting attorney general or whatever, they need to put a special counsel ASAP, right away. Because Joe Biden was asked today by Steve Ducey's son, that Joe Biden hates, by the way. And he asked President Biden, now that it's revealed that the FBI is investigating your son and everything, do you still stand by saying that it's Russia disinformation? And Joe Biden's response was, yes, yes, and yes. All right. And then on the way out, Joe Biden said, however, my DOJ, my Attorney General, they'll be on their own. In other words, saying, I will not stand in the way of my son being investigated at all. Yeah, sure. he's a liar. Freaking old nut. Trump had part of 15 other individuals, including former Trump campaign policy advisor George Papadopoulos. The Wednesday pardons came after AG Bill Barr final day as Attorney General, and Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen will be taking over in an acting capacity. I guarantee Rosen puts a special prosecutor, special counsel right away. Today, President Trump has issued a full and complete pardon to Manafort, stemming from convictions prosecuted in the course of Special Counsel Mueller's investigation, which was premised on the Russian collusion hoax. The White House said Manafort has already spent 2 years in prison, including a stretch of time in solitary confinement, treatment worse than what many of the most violent criminals receive, as a result of blatant prosecutorial overreach. Mr. Manafort has endured years of unfair treatment and is one of the most prominent victims of what be real. Here's the thing I don't understand, though. They keep, the hoax stuff and everything. How, it's not a violent crime. He's not convicted of a violent crime. Why is he spending time in solitary confinement? Are they saying that's their way of saying it's like protection from all prisoners? Because solitary confinement is 23 hours a day lockdown. By law, you got to be let out 1 hour a day for exercise, whatever it is. You have to be out 1 hour a day. There's criminals that have done a lot worse that don't get that. Usually people get solitary as a punishment in prison. They break the rules and this and that. They go to something that's called a bing. Well, in New York, that's what they call the bing. That's the box. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I don't know the details of it. I don't know if it's that, he's been threatened or something in there and that's why they're doing that. But still, I don't understand. You can't just keep blaming it on the prosecutors. If let's say he's being put in there beyond his will, like he doesn't care, he's not being threatened by anybody, how can you just hold him in solitary confinement? I don't understand that. There's something a little weird there. But if it's just that they're doing it like to say hell with him, that's not cool at all. That's bad, man. Make this guy go crazy. Manafort was convicted in Virginia on 5 counts of tax fraud, 1 count of concealing his foreign bank accounts, 2 counts of bank fraud, while the judge declared a mistrial on 10 other charges. He's also been charged in a separate case with failing to register as a foreign lobbyist, money laundering, making false statements to investigators, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and witness tampering. And he pled guilty to just the final 2 charges in D.C. a month and a half after his trial conviction. And here's the thing. This guy, I'm not saying this guy's a good guy. He's always been a player. He's been lobbying, making deals, back ends, and all that. Bottom line is everything I just read there of his rap sheet. Not one thing said Russian collusion like anything with Trump. So they just hit him hard because he didn't cooperate. In early 2019, Judge T.S. Ellis sentenced Manafort to 47 months in prison. And what is that? 12, 24, 36, 48. So that's what? Just about 4 years, right? 3 years, 11 months. And it says, and Judge Amy Berman Jackson sentenced him to another 43. Ew. Behind bars. Manafort was released from prison in May to serve the remainder of his sentence on the home confinement amid the coronavirus pandemic. Manafort, I wonder what his home is like. He probably has a mansion, right? It would stink if they said you gotta do home confinement, but you gotta stay stuck in the bathroom. I'd probably be cool with that. I'd just be like, all my magazine subscriptions, That's it. I just probably replaced the tub and just put in like a jacuzzi or something. It's cool. A Senate Intelligence Committee report released in August. All right, enough with Manafort. Enough with Manafort here. They're just going off on this here. Stone, we already know the deal with him. They all stood up and just didn't crack to Mueller's crap, his team. You know what? I got to stop saying that. What's this guy's name? Weissman. Weissman, he's the one, the pit bull of Mueller's team. He's the one that ran everything. When you seen Mueller testify, it was like if he's cousins with Joe Biden on the cognitive level. Did you see that? Unless that was acting. It was Weissman, Andrew Weissman. He's the one that ran the whole thing, because everything corrupt like that, that looks just like all his prior resume. It says Mueller's investigation concluded that Russian government interfered in a sweeping and systemic fashion. That word, systematic. That word. According to his report that was released in April 2019, Mueller's team also identified numerous links between Russian government and the Trump campaign, but did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in this election. That's such a... Nothing happened. Remember the best one? Exonerated. Remember that? Like, these people, man, you could tell that Comey was his protege, because he says, Mueller says, but it does not exonerate him. It's not your job to exonerate anybody. How can you even say that? Right? So you got Mueller saying that, or whoever, Weissman. Then you got Comey. Remember him? Not what the heck was it? Not a level-headed or any prosecutor in America would prosecute this case. After he just read off everything she did wrong, basically illegal, everything. But we're not going to prosecute her. Hillary, that is. And that's what changed everything. Because if they would have did what was supposed to be done, I don't think the Russian thing would have happened. Because as soon as that was done and they kept pushing that, this is bad, man. I'm not going to go over this whole thing because it's going into the Inspector General. We've been through Russia for many years. Here's the one other crap. Kevin Kleinsmith, we spoke about this guy over here. He's the patsy. Remember that he altered an email to say that Page was not a source for the CIA when the CIA sent an email saying he was a source. Carter Page is suing their butts off right now. This is what I want to know. Jared Kushner. Charles Kushner, the father of Jared Kushner, who was married to Trump's daughter Ivanka, was also pardoned on Wednesday after pleading guilty to 16 counts of assisting in the filing of false tax returns, 1 count of retaliating against a cooperating witness, and 1 count of making false statements to the Federal Election Commission in 2004. In a case that had been prosecuted by then U.S. Attorney and future on-again, off-again Trump ally Chris Christie. Oh, Krispy Kreme. Here he is. Since completing his sentence in 2006, Mr. Kushner has been devoted to important philanthropic organizations and causes such as St. Barnabas Medical Center and United Cerebral Palsy, the White House said. This record of reform and charity overshadows Mr. Kushner's conviction and 2-year sentence for preparing false tax returns, witness retaliation, and making false statements to the FEC. It's crazy. You know what I notice is crazy? And it's not really that crazy, but most of the politicians and people that go to jail for all this stuff, they're mostly on the Republican side. Right? Think about it. Did you remember that guy in here in New York, Sheldon Silver? That he was taking bribes. He got busted for corruption. I think he got sentenced to 7 years in jail. Do you know it took about 7 years after he was sentenced to actually go to jail? They overturned him, dead in the rights, overturned his conviction. Got convicted again. They overturned it again. He got convicted. It's the craziest thing that went on. I think till finally somebody told him, look, that's it, you got to go. But whoever it was, they fought tooth and nail to keep this old Democrat out of jail. It's just incredible what's going on, man. Hey, I want to finish with something. For those of you that's still here, first of all, thank you for your support. Please share this because, yeah, YouTube still got the squeeze on me. They don't push my stuff out, especially if I talk political stuff. Forget it. I don't get shared, but whatever. You still listen? With everything that's going on, I'm being dead serious right now, okay? You know, with the virus, you know, with masks and everything like that, all the places being shut down, all these rules being put in, everybody staying home. I'm going to say this during every video. I'm going to try to say it more to the middle, in the beginning, so nobody that drops off, nobody usually stays to the end. But anyway, this may sound corny, but please don't forget your life or how you were living. That's what they're doing here. What do I mean by that? Of course, if you say shaking hands, kissing or anything, with the virus, try to think back when you were hanging out with your boys or your homegirls or whatever, like I said, playing pool and everything. It's not even a thought anymore in your head. If they came out tomorrow and said, guess what, it's all over, that's it, go back to how it was. Not even that you wouldn't want to, because you'll be like, oh no, maybe I'll still get... You won't remember it all. Every day that goes by, our brains are being reprogrammed to the new thing. You know how it is. I go back to my old gas analogy, gasoline. When gas would be, let's say at one point, $2 a gallon, and I remember it almost went up to $5 a gallon years back. People were like, whoa, that's it. They're going to start riding bicycles to work and everything. But then, out of convenience, I'll just fill it up this time. I'll just fill it up again. Next thing you know, you settle, you accept it. You're paying $5 a gallon, that's it. It's not crazy anymore. Same thing with this. I mean, I know that sounds stupid because I didn't get it out the way I wanted to, but right now, we're going along with what we're being asked to do. Okay? What we're being asked to do. At some point, when they're talking now, it could be another year or so before this thing is done, the pandemic's over. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to go back? You'll be able to go right back to how it was before the pandemic? Try to remember what you were doing before the pandemic. See if you can remember. I guarantee you it doesn't pop right into your head going like, oh, no, yeah, I'm going to do... No, you're going to go, it's going to feel weird. You're going to feel weird to try to remember how you felt. Can't let this happen. Go to your videos. Go to your pictures. Start calling your friends more. Do things. You got to keep it. Just because they want you isolated doesn't mean you have to be isolated. Call people, text people, do this and that. Social media, I call it anti-social media. I'm just saying, don't forget. That's what's happening here. And I know people will laugh at that. Say, Ron, oh, you're a moron. You know, when you get those cool comments like that, you're an idiot or something like that. Fine, okay. But do that. Think back before we got hit with the pandemic. Think about the last 5, 6 things, how you hung out and did whatever, and see if you could remember it right away. All right, folks. Anyway, I'm glad President Trump is pardoning people. I think he has a lot more to go. And write him, call him, whatever. We need a special counsel. Can't just leave this like this. We can't get sold out to China. All right, people, please share this. All right? Like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm bugging out today.